Well, hello, you lovely bunch of coconuts. We're ready for another episode of the Elsa Kurt Show. I'm Elsa Kurt, and it's going to be a fun one, so stay tuned. Did I just call you a lovely bunch of coconuts? I did. I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. I'm just in a really goofy mood today because I'm really excited about our guest and what we're going to be talking about. It's one of my favorite things ever. And let's just give you a look at what I'm talking about.
Here's today's top five from that show tonight. The top five new slogans for Donald Trump. Number five, make America great again. Again. Number four, Donald Trump Part 2. This time it's personal. Number three, look around. What did I tell you? Number two, 81 million my ass. My ass. Number one, I told you, but you don't listen.
You missed me yet.
That was today's top five. See you next week.
That's right. Comedy, things that are actually funny and not that stuff that they have on SNL. We've got the good stuff here. And today I have writer and producer of that show tonight, Paul Crosetti. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Elsa. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah, it's fun watching that clip. Huh?
So great. He's Jim Breuer. He's fantastic. He's hilarious. And I'm so excited about all this. To be perfectly honest, I'm half envious and half super excited to watch it because this is like a dream to me to do something like that. I love sketch comedy. I loved SNL when it was really actually funny and everyone was picked on equally. So tell me how you guys came up with the concept for the show.
Well, it's interesting. I think, more people, especially conservatives, are waking up to what's going on in the world, right? And maybe the typical path to get involved is to get into politics. Case in point, President number 45, right? And a lot of people do that at the local level. More and more, I think conservatives and parents are getting involved in the school boards. And a buddy of mine and I just felt like, hey, we need to see if we can make a difference in the pop culture entertainment sphere. We got hooked up with Michael Loftus, and Michael is unbelievable, an amazing talent. He's been in comedy for a long time. He's done a lot of writing. He's written on the George Lopez show. He's written on Kevin Can Wait, Anger Management with Charlie Sheen. He's been on a ton of Comedy Central specials. He's a regular on Greg Gutfeld's show. Anyway, so we got hooked up with him, and this is something he's always wanted to do. So my buddy and I said, hey, we're available. We'll help out however we can. Let's do this. And so probably a little over a year ago, we started meeting, and we started putting together the concept. And we're in production. We've done 4 shows, right? And the more we talk to people, and somehow Michael got in touch with Jim Breuer, and Jim, of course, was an awesome addition. And we had him at our last show in March, and he killed it. And we're just having a blast.
That's amazing. And you're being modest because they are actually sold out. These have been sold out shows. So the response to this is probably everything you need to know about whether this is a good choice or not. Clearly, this is and I'll speak for myself, this is what I've been starving for, some just real funny stuff that targets everyone really, equally like it used to be, and not so politically correct and one-sided, and we won't say which side they lean to. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, you're spot on. And that's my buddy and I. We grew up watching Saturday Night Live when it first came out, and it was so great. And Saturday night, it was like you stopped what you were doing. We headed over to our buddy's house. You had to watch it. right? And then we see what's happened to it now, and it's like, man, what a shame, right? What a shame.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, the shows that we've done, the reaction, just like you said, is overwhelmingly positive. The energy, with the live audience is fantastic. People, it's a similar response. It's like, I've been waiting so long for this. Thank you, right? And people are just super excited, and we're having a ton of fun. So we're excited about the show. We've got another one coming up this Saturday,
Wow.
April 30th, and we live stream them at thatshowtonight.com, so people can watch it over the internet.
That is so cool. So now you do the live shows, which I think is incredible in itself, and just so fun. Now you're also doing, are you looking to get this on like a channel, some type of network or anything there? Or is that going too far ahead?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? We're talking to a couple platforms, but surprise, shocker, the mainstream platforms, right, aren't interested, right? And so
What?
Michael, yeah, huh, shocker. And in fact, a couple of years ago, Michael pitched a similar concept with another star in Hollywood. I think they talked to CBS, HBO, Netflix, right, all the traditional platforms.
Mhm.
And every at every stop, they were told the same. Hey, we love you guys. This is a great concept, right? It's got huge potential. We just can't afford to look friendly to the right. So we've set it up. We've got an independent server, so we can't be canceled, right? We can't have what happened to Parlor happen to us. It's a group in Texas that's financed by some, heavy players in the finance industry, conservatives, and the tech industry, and they've set up a platform for content like ours that keep it safe, right? It's a safe haven from, big tech censors and the woke mob. So there's a lot of advantages. Again, we're open to any opportunity, but advantages of producing the show independently is we get to control the content. We're safe from big tech censors. We're not dependent on corporate sponsors who could, cower to the woke council culture mob. And so we're happy where we're at, and we'll see where it goes from there.
That's awesome. I love that. And doesn't it just like it's still now we've been living in this, alternate reality for a while now. And it still does not cease to amaze me that this is where we're at. Like this is real life. And I think comedy and what you're doing is such a brilliant escape and way of laughing at what actually makes us want to cry and scream, really.
Yeah.
Right? It's insane.
It's amazing, Elsa, right? Because the late night comedy shows and Saturday Night Live, they've gone so left. And when you're peddling propaganda and lies, it's not funny. It's not good for comedy, right? And what is funny is mocking the absurdities and lacing it with some truth, right? And
Yes.
that's the reaction we get. And but I could go into so we're social media is an avenue for us to promote the show, and you'd be amazed. I mean, the censorship momentum is just growing and expanding. And early on, we'd have to be careful about publishing. I mean, I'm sure you experience it too. We'd have to be careful about publishing, any satire against mandates, the vax mandates, the mask mandates, and it was under the guise of misinformation and potential harm to the public, right? To me, it's censorship. Didn't agree with it, but you kind of understood it. Well, now it's gotten to the point where, hey, if you're making fun of the government, even in a satirical sense, and our stuff is harmless, right? I mean, we're just making fun, right? Just like SNL used to do. They're censoring that, and that gets kind of scary.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My main platform, my playground is good old TikTok, and I know you guys have been victims of their censorship as well. And by the grace of God, I guess I'm still on there. I get videos taken down regularly, and content or community guideline violations, and it's people reporting the account. And so far, I'm still on there. Knock on wood, because I do love the platform. I don't love their running of it, but you guys had gotten on there, and you were at, I think it was like 15,000 followers, and they just pulled you without warning. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the platform where we were having the most success. And so the followers were building. We had, several billion videos were, cumulatively in the millions of views. So we were really excited. And then out of the blue, it was right before the show last month with Jim Breuer. We were looking for one of the videos, and it just showed that we've been permanently banned. No warning, no, right, no explanation.
Yeah, none.
I mean, they did throw the community guidelines out there, but with all the videos that we had posted previously, we had one video where they pushed back. I think they took it down temporarily. We appealed, and they put it back up within a couple of hours. And other than that, until we just got banned.
It's so, it shouldn't be shocking anymore. And I keep saying this, like, we shouldn't be shocked anymore, but it's still shocking that this is happening in America. Like, this is what is happening. If you're a conservative voice, or you don't even have to be necessarily conservative, if you're just simply, questioning or even joking, which is what we like to do,
right?
Just kidding around, making fun, poking fun is not allowed if it's at, the wrong people, at certain people. It's, and meanwhile, of course, they could have a comedian go on Twitter with a fake severed head of a sitting president, and that was okay. She got a little slap on the wrist, and, nothing really, I mean, she'll say, of course, her career was ruined, her life was ruined, all that stuff, but it really wasn't. In comparison to what happens to conservative voices, that was absolutely nothing. So it's amazing. The double standard is insane.
It is, yeah. Political satire has been around for centuries, right? Centuries, and and it seemed like, after Trump's election, it became more and more part of the comedic genre, right? Late night shows really got political, but it's all one-sided, right? And you think about it, you'll read, and they say humor and comedy is a real effective way in learning, right, in teaching, that people retain information a lot better if it's laced with humor and comedy. So I kind of get this, you get the sense that the left figured this out, and they're trying to, use it more and more. And at the same time, knowing that it is effective, shield any messaging or mocking that goes against their narrative. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's scary, but at the same time, we're not going to be stopped. We know there's a huge market out there, right, for real comedy. We call our show Sketch Comedy for the Rest of America, right? And we're doing the unthinkable. We're making fun of everyone, even the left, especially the left. Right?
Especially, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody gets their turn, including them, which is, not part of their shtick, to make fun of themselves very often. I love, it's same like you, actually. I have loved sketch comedy for, as probably from the moment I saw it and understood what I was watching. I've always been drawn to that, and I love it to pieces. And I think we have another clip from the show, from one of your episodes. If we could put that up there, it's great stuff.
Hey, shh. It's okay. It's okay. Take a deep breath. You had a surgery. You've been under anesthesia, but you're okay. We're gonna get you out of here.
What's going on?
Well, you had an event, and we had to operate, but you're gonna be okay.
Why is my rear end killing me?
We had to perform an emergency intracranial rectal removal, and the worst part is This has been happening a lot. This is the second time you've been in the hospital because your head has been up your ass. I need to ask you something. Are you a Democrat?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That
I was in the Union about 20 years ago.
Okay. Oh, slow down. We don't want that head to go back up there. All right? This happens a lot with liberals. Your beliefs and the way you vote affects the way your head relates with your butthole. And it'll just go right up there and it'll block reality.
But we gotta be loyal and no matter
Oh,
what
whoa, shush. It'll happen right as I'm sitting here. It's not pleasant to watch. We spent a lot of money. Your insurance isn't going to cover it anymore. Okay? So this is it. This can't happen again. So I want you to take a look at this. That is the Constitution. Now look at it, read it, and that's going to affect the way you see the world. Welcome aboard. I'm also going to write you a prescription for a couple of old Ronald Reagan speeches and some patriotic films. Maybe 13 hours. I want you to watch those. I'm going to send in a nurse in with some Jell-O and a pile of money.
Okay.
Think about that.
Yeah, I don't want my head up my ass ever again.
No.
Oh my God, it hurts.
Yeah, you should be the guy that has to get that thing out of there. Sorry about the smell.
Yeah, I guess it's my upper lip.
Yep, we're going to get some Purell in here. Hang tight.
Thank you. Constitution.
All right, so that is not good for my laugh lines. I feel I'm getting deeper by the second here.
Yeah, what a blast! Yeah, what a blast we had with Jim.
That's got to be so fun to be. So tell me a little bit about this process. Are you guys all sitting, like, how does this work? You're all sitting together in a room hashing out, or you're doing it via Zoom? Like, now of course, post pandemic, everything is Zoom and all of that. What's the process of like writing a skit?
Yeah, so we collect ideas. And we'll do it over the email. We've got writers. So he's reached out to Rock Rubin. I think I'm okay sharing names, right? Rock Rubin, Gordon Kirshner, guys that have worked with him before. I think Rock was the executive producer in charge of The King of Queens with Kevin James, right? He's brilliant. So there's a team of writers, and we all just kind of throw ideas out there, and then we get together. We'll get in probably tomorrow or Wednesday, and pick and choose the ones we want to do, rehearse. We'll get the costumes ready, get everything set, and we do a mixture. We'll do some videos, we'll do some live sketches. We have some music acts. We've got an animator. We've done a couple animations on there. So, and you're right. We just have a blast. It's a great group. It's super fun, right? And we just enjoy each other and enjoy putting on the show.
That's amazing. Would you call this a dream job? Because it sure sounds like one.
It is, right? And the cool thing is that we see ourselves as being kind of a safe haven, right? So, Jim Breuer, so Michael basically said, I'm out, right? When it comes to Hollywood and all the liberal, idiocy that he's had to deal with his whole career. So he's basically told, people, I'm sorry, but this is where I'm headed. And I think Jim's kind of the same way. He was a huge star on Saturday Night Live back in the 90s when it was still funny. And, he'll tell stories about, some of the experiences there. So he's on board. We've got Christy Swanson has signed on. Nick Searcy has, so we're super excited about her. Nick Searcy has signed on. And we're talking to people every day, and we think, hey, if we can provide them a platform, a format where they can actually do the stuff they want to do, right, and survive it, we think we're going to attract. There's more that'll come join us, and that makes us excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would imagine that parts of, anybody in that industry who's part of the whole liberal mindset, and even if they're not, but they don't want to lose their jobs and they don't want to get like blackballed, so to speak, or anything like that, they're probably like terrified of what you're doing, but also envious too. They probably, secretly want to be part of it. But have you found that at all? Or as Michael found that, he's approached people in the industry and they're like, "Whoa, no, can't do that. Can't be a part of that."
So he's got a lot of contacts, right? And on the sly, he's sharing clips and sizzle reels, and here's what we're going. And kind of behind the scenes, they're saying, "Hey, you should probably talk to this person and that person." And he'll tell us. He goes, "I think down the road, right, when we gain some momentum, the scales start to balance, right, and people are surviving, right, being on the show and thriving, that we're going to get more and more people involved."
You're going to have to be turning them away. You'll be beating them off. So I'm sorry, guys, we're filling. Remember that time when we asked you to come on the show and you were like, "No."
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, I think that is going to happen because I think the tide will turn, and and the best thing to happen is for, like you just said, for the scales to balance. We don't need the whole world to just think one way. We just need to have balance, and I don't know if we'll ever see that in this country or in civilization ever, where true balance will happen. But at least we'll even out a little bit where, the conservative voices and just not extremists are able to just be out there and doing what they do and enjoying it. So you guys are, it's such a strange word to use probably, but you guys are brave. This is brave to go against, the industry essentially, and saying, we're not going to just toe the line and be good little, minions and only produce one type of content. And so I thank you for your bravery in doing this in an industry that does not like it.
Hey, I appreciate it, Elsa. And, we definitely see a higher cause here. Andrew Breitbart famously said that politics is downstream from pop culture, right? And for the last generations, right, the left has dominated pop culture. And so, one of our goals is, can we attract an audience in the younger generation, right? And the thought is, I've had kids, my partner's had kids that have gone through high school and college, and they get fed a lot of disturbing propaganda, right, at the universities. And the thought is, hey, if we can attract, the younger generation with our humor and the comedy, then when they're getting fed that in the classroom, maybe they'll think twice about a sketch that called out the absurdity of what they're hearing, and it'll help in that regard. So definitely we're having a blast and having fun, but we kind of see a higher purpose to it also.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love every part of it. Do you have like a favorite type of skit you like to do? Is there anything in particular that really, is it impersonations or is it, I don't know, anything? What's your favorite, if you have one?
So I've actually been able to get involved in our news program, Insight Tonight. And so we make fun of the news, and Michael is awesome. We had Jim Breuer last time. And so a lot of we'll say something in the news, and then we'll go to our special correspondent who will give a hilarious take on it. So at the last show, we talked about the mayor of Oakland in California suggested, I think this was a month or two ago, that, hey, the way to solve the homeless problem is just to have homeowners invite a homeless to live with them in the house, right? It's unbelievable, right? And she's serious. I mean, she's saying it with a straight face, right?
Yeah.
So then we cut to a special appearance by, I think we called him Otis Crackmeyer, who's Jim Breuer, who was in the kitchen of the house of Nancy Pelosi, and you can only imagine how that went. It was a hoot, yeah. So
that's just absolutely brilliant. Oh, I love it. That is so fun. I crack myself up. I am the first one to admit, and thank God a handful of other people find me funny too. And I love, it's so funny that you said that, because I love doing all of those things. I love doing the fake news and all of that stuff. And the comments that I get most of the time are things like, you don't even have to write anything. Like, the scripts are right there from real life. You don't even have to fake anything, because just read what's really going on, and it reads like fiction. It reads like comedy, and it's amazing. It's just amazing how much of reality is in all of this. And people have said, is that a true story? I did an impression of Kamala Harris, and it used her real quotes, things that she's actually said, and people in the comments were like, did she really say that? Yeah, she really did. It's terrifying.
I've seen your Kamala Harris, Elsa. We're going to get you out to a show. We'd love to have you. No, that's the other thing that'll happen is you'll come up with an idea and you'll say, "Hey, this would be funny for a show," and then they're actually peddling it as a truthful idea, right? As you go on,
Yes,
man,
yes.
I guess we got to be even more absurd, right?
Absolutely. So humor me for a moment and let me show everybody what I find myself to be hilarious. And here's me doing Kamala.
I don't know why I was late for work today. Okay, well, the reason why I was late for work today, okay, is because when I got in my car, okay, it wouldn't start. And if your car won't start, you can't drive your car, okay? Yeah, I would like to purchase this. Purchase. That means to buy something. When you purchase something, you are buying it. You want to know where I live? Okay, well, I live in a country, okay? And inside that country is a state. And inside that state is a town. And inside that town is my house. That is where I live, okay?
I'm always
Nailed
amazed,
it. Nailed
she
it.
writes herself, right? Because
Oh,
everything she says, she talks like she's speaking to a third grade class, and she chops everything up in those tiny sentences. And it's like, you don't even have to write anything. Just imitate what she actually says to people. And it's like,
and even with her effort to dumb it down, half the time she's not making sense still, right?
right. Yeah. How about, space is big. That was the latest one, right? Space is big. Space is exciting. And she's talking to some of the, smartest people out there. And this is the language she's using with them. It's like, you can't even make it up.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Oh, thank you. So, so now that you said I can, some point hop on the show there and do a little spot, I'm going to hold you to it because everybody heard
Awesome.
it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Bridget, I told you we've got that sketch written, and it was
I
by
love
Nick. It was by Nick Searcy, and he goes, "Do you have anybody that can do a good Kamala?" Right? And I said, "Actually, I think I'm going to meet someone." Right? So definitely, we'll be in
Yeah.
touch.
I love it. I
That'd be
appreciate
great.
that. You are too kind, too kind. Paul, I can't thank you enough for sharing your time with us and sharing all of this greatness. I'm so excited to watch everything that show tonight is going to do. Can you tell everybody where to find the show and maybe get tickets too, if that's a possibility?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're in the New York area, we're in Long Island. This Saturday's the next show. The tickets sell out fast. But go to the AmericaFirstWarehouse.com. The America First Warehouse. It's an unbelievable venue, right? You walk in, it's just a ton of fun. And then watch it at thatshowtonight.com. You see our videos on our website, thatshowtonight.com. And then for a small subscription price, $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to the live streaming to the shows and some additional exclusive content. So I certainly appreciate all your support, Elsa, because it's not easy, right, in this environment. And it's grassroots getting the word out. And when people see it, right, that definitely when they're like-minded like us, they have themselves a blast. So Appreciate your
Absolutely.
support.
Yes. I'm going to be cheering you guys on the whole way. So I love it. And I'm going to get over. You guys, is there a backup account on TikTok yet? Or not yet? Do you guys have another account on there?
Yeah, we just started. We just started That Show Tonight 2.0. Yep.
Okay,
And then
perfect.
we're still
Yes.
on Facebook. We're still on YouTube. We're still on Twitter. Right. So
Excellent.
knock on wood. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Plug them for as long as they'll let us stay on them, right?
Exactly.
Outstanding. Paul Crosetti, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and take care of yourself. It was great having you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Elsa.
All right, guys, there you have it. Get over there to thatshowtonight.com. Watch those episodes. They are hilarious. I absolutely love them. And, maybe at some point in the future, you'll see me on there. Who knows? You never know. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.